I wish it was Christmas today. I wish it was Christmas today. Every day's a Christmas day. Top 5 things, come what may. Reviews, movies, and festive cheer. Join the fun, Christmas is here. It's Christmas every day.
Yes, everybody, welcome to Christmas Every Day. This is the Christmas podcast that keeps the Christmas spirit going year-round. My name is Troy, and I am your host. And today is Friday, July 18th, 2025. We are officially 45 days away from September 1st, which, as we all know, is the beginning of the Burr months. So from the beginning of September till the end of December, that is the coveted Burr months. It's the best time of the year. Now, I just made a resolution of sorts. I've been just incredibly terrible about doing Christmas cards, basically for the entirety of my adult life. And I need to get better about that. And it's something that I want to get better about. So I made a resolution here not too long ago, and I'm going to make a list of 15 different people to send Christmas cards to this year. Lots of people are always like super, super thoughtful to me and my wife around the holidays, and they send us plenty of Christmas cards. And my wife's really good about sending them out, but I personally don't. And that's something that I want to get a little bit better at. So this year, 15 people, I'm making a list, and Christmas cards are going out in the mail. I'm going to write them out, put them in the envelopes. I'm going to stamp them. I'm going to put them in the mailbox to go out. And that's just how it's going to be. Excuse me. And I need to come up with a deadline to get that done. I think I want to get that done by December 1st. So December 1st, that's when I'm going to have it done. And I'm going to report back and let everybody know how it went. Okay, so right now it's time for the countdown. This is getting really exciting. It is 160 days until Christmas. I know that still seems like it's kind of far away, but now that we got July 4th out of the way, I think the days and the weeks are just going to kind of snowball. Next thing you know, football season is going to be going on. And after that, basically Halloween is just right around the corner. So 106 days until November 1st. And that's that day that those strange people, they're out there. Some of those people just, decide not to decorate for Christmas until November 1st. They want to get Halloween out of the way. They want to do whatever. I don't understand the thinking behind it, but, that's okay. We're still glad to have them on our side. So I made a discovery this week, and it's one that I'm like super, super, super thankful that I made. There is a website called ChristmasPodcasts.com. Now, I was looking for Christmas podcasts to listen to and maybe steal ideas from. That's what podcasters do. And I'm not a very creative kind of person, so I just need to borrow other people's ideas and, maybe make them a little bit better or, just tweak them here and there. But I'm not a creative guy. I came across ChristmasPodcasts.com, and it's a directory, nothing but Christmas podcasts. And ChristmasPodcasts.com is part of a bigger Christmas network called My Merry Christmas. And you can go to mymerrychristmas.com, and you can go to, they have all kinds of different forums and, all kinds of different stuff. It's just an incredible resource. It's an incredible community. Like everybody I've talked to that's associated with it or who was a part of it has just been super nice. The guy that runs it, if I'm not mistaken, his name is Jeff. Super, super cool dude. Got me hooked up. Another guy, I'm afraid I don't know what his real name is. I know what his screen name is, but I'm not going to give it out. He got me hooked up, and my podcast is now on this directory. So hoping that's going to get me a little bit of exposure. And, as the holiday season gets nearer, then, maybe more people are going to listen and just be a part of our community here at Christmas Every Day. But just an amazing discovery. mymerrychristmas.com and christmaspodcasts.com. Now they're part of the same network, so you can access one from the other. But just, oh my gosh, everybody's just so cool. And I did not know, I should have, but I didn't know that there was a directory just for Christmas podcasts. And there's some really, really, really good Christmas podcasts in there. Some of them haven't posted anything for a couple of years. Some of them go, basically all the time. Some of them just put out new shows during the Christmas season. But there's a ton of good stuff on there. I'm very, very glad that I ran across that because it's just an incredibly great resource. I can't shout those guys out enough. You're probably going to be hearing me talk about them every single week. Just great, great, great group. Okay, so now basically it's time for the Christmas character of the week. So every week I spotlight a different Christmas character. Sometimes they might be more popular characters. Sometimes they might not be a more popular character. It might be something you need to do a little digging on to find out a little bit more about. This one is not one of those. This one's a pretty popular Christmas character. This is the first angel to make an appearance as the Christmas character of the week, and his name is Dudley, and he's the central character in the movie The Bishop's Wife. Now, Dudley was sent from heaven at Christmas time to help the bishop. His name is Henry Braun. After the bishop prayed for divine intervention for his project to raise funds, basically to build a new church, to build a new cathedral. And, Dudley comes down and he introduces himself to everybody, but he reveals his true identity only to the bishop. And this is shortly after they first met. Dudley's played by Cary Grant. He's just a super smooth character, just like you would expect Cary Grant to be in basically any other role. That's Cary Grant in this role. He's just like a totally smooth character. He's as suave and sophisticated as many of his other parts. Look, it's Cary Grant. You can't get any better than him. He's just got this uncanny way as Dudley of just like immediately finding like this common ground, relating with everybody he comes across, including the bishop's wife, who is played by Loretta Young. If you don't know who Loretta Young is, look, full disclosure, Total Smoke Show from way back in the day. She was gorgeous. Great actor too, but oh my God, just absolutely just drop dead. And Dudley shows her character, her name is Julia, a side of life that she used to share with her husband, the bishop, before he became obsessed with his work and this fundraising project. And, Dudley takes her ice skating and they go to eat at her favorite restaurant that she used to love when she and the bishop would go there, many moons ago. And, Dudley shows her a side of life that she's been missing. And so he helps the bishop kind of realize his true priorities. Not least ways through a little jealousy over the time that Dudley was spending with his wife. I mean, that's the reality of it. I think the bishop got a little bit jealous of, another man running his wife all over town, and, her talking about the wonderful time that they had. I'm sure that was part of the whole grand plan. And Dudley may or may not have developed feelings for Julia in the process, but that's another discussion. And they all are dogs. They all lived happily ever after, and everything was cool. But Cary Grant was really, really good in this part and in this movie. It's a well-written movie. There is an appearance by two of the It's a Wonderful Life kids. So the kid that played young George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life and the girl who played Zuzu Bailey, they're also in this movie as well. The girl who played Zuzu is the bishop's wife's daughter. The kid who played young George Bailey is just like a little neighborhood kid while they're having their snowball fight. So anyway, side note, the guy who stood in for Cary Grant during the, ice skating scene is very blatantly not Cary Grant. They don't look anything alike, and it was just super obvious that it wasn't him and it was an actual like figure skater that was skating in his part. But I guess that was probably the best that they could do in 1947 when this movie came out. So anyway, Dudley from The Bishop's Wife is this week's Christmas character. He's one of my favorite all time. Just because Cary Grant is he's about as smooth as you can get, really. I mean, and I just would really love it if I just for like 5 minutes of my entire life could be as smooth as Cary Grant. But anyway, moving on, we've got listener emails. I don't have any listener emails this week, so I got kind of spoiled over the last couple of weeks with getting them, but none this week. But if you're listening, give me a shout out, christmaseverydayshow@gmail.com. Please keep those emails coming in, and please give me some new music, some new Christmas music recommendations so I can do some reaction videos for those. I'm really looking forward to doing one of those. And but I need some suggestions, folks. So christmaseverydayshow@gmail.com, and get it all to me. Also at christmaseverydayshow@gmail.com. Send me your Christmas in July stuff. Send me some pictures. Send me your ideas. Send me let me know what you did as far as parties go. I'd love to hear about all that stuff. So anyway, this week in Christmas history, I've decided to go with this week in Christmas history instead of this day in Christmas history because there's just more to offer if I do a 7-day stretch. So my podcast comes out on Friday, so I'm going to be looking at the following Saturday through the following Friday for this week in Christmas history. So this week in Christmas history, there's a couple of kind of cool things going on. Eric Per Sullivan, who's played Spike Frohmeyer in Christmas with the Cranks, which is another one of my favorite Christmas movies, born in 2001 on July 12th. So happy birthday, Eric Per Sullivan. Spike Frohmeyer from Christmas with the Cranks. He was kind of a punk little kid, turned out to be pretty decent in the movie, whatever. Also, Will Ferrell, obviously Buddy the Elf from the movie Elf, born July 16th, 1978. So happy birthday, Will Ferrell. And I've got another birthday from this week, Vince Guaraldi. Okay, now this is a pretty big name when it comes to Christmas history. Obviously, the writer of Linus and Lucy and the different Charlie Brown Christmas stuff. He wrote basically, the entire Charlie Brown Christmas album, and he and his Vince Guaraldi trio performed the whole thing. It's just a freaking masterpiece. He was born on July 17th, 1928. So 97 years ago, Vince Guaraldi was born. That's a pretty big deal in the Christmas world. You don't get much bigger than Vince Guaraldi. And then one kind of sad note this week, Bob Newhart, Papa Elf from the movie Elf also, and he passed away on July 18th of 2024. So actually a year ago today, we lost Bob Newhart. Rest in peace, sir. That was a great part that he did in Elf. He was a great Papa Elf, and so he will definitely be missed. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this episode for this week wrapped up with the Christmas Carol of the Week. Now, normally I like to add the Christmas Carol of the Week to my Spotify Christmas Carol of the Week playlist, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to put this one on there because it's not in Spotify. Matter of fact, the whole album that it's on has been removed from Spotify. So I could play it off of YouTube, but I'm afraid I might run into some kind of copyright infringement deal and get a smack on the hand that I don't really want to get. But anyway, this week's Christmas Carol of the Week comes from the 1994 movie The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Now, this is the song that plays, Scott and Charlie arrive at the North Pole after they've, delivered all the gifts. The sleigh kind of parks itself, reindeers are gone, and, they're just trying to figure out what goes on next. And this little elf comes out, he does some things, and then the sleigh goes down into where it goes and the whole thing. But this is the song that plays during that part of the movie. And to me, this is really the only sort of, now it's a great movie, but to me, this is the only sort of real magical part of the movie. And it's because of this song. The song is called The Bells of Christmas by Lorena McKennitt. And it's just a phenomenal song. It starts out really slow, really soft, very beautiful voice. It comes in with, choral singers or choral singers, whatever you want to say, coming in with Lorena doing their vocals. And it's just a gorgeous song. And like I said, it's maybe the only real magical song to me and the only magical part in the movie. And this song is maybe one of the top reasons why I like the movie in the first place. But The Bells of Christmas by Lorena McKennitt. Now, like I said, I'm not going to play a part of this song because there could be some kind of copyright issue. And yeah, I could have gone with another song. I could have gone with something that might not get me in trouble. But no, this is my podcast, and I love this song, and I want everybody else to know about it. If you haven't heard this song, I will leave a YouTube link in the show notes so that you can click that. It'll take you to the song on YouTube, and you can hear it there. But it's just not available on Spotify, and neither is the whole Santa Claus soundtrack. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but I don't know. It's something. Either way, click on the link. It's a beautiful song. You're totally not going to regret listening to it, and it's probably my favorite song on that entire soundtrack. Okay, I think that wraps it up for me. It is July 18th, 2025. 160 days until Christmas. Guys, we're getting there. We're getting there, and it's getting close. 60, how many days? 106 days until November 1st. So, I mean, y'all, we're practically there. It may be hot outside, but it's getting more like Christmas in my heart every day. So, please keep coming back. Please give me a shout out, Christmas Everyday Show at gmail.com. And we'll catch you next week. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Every day's a Christmas day. Top 5 things, come what may. Reviews, movies, and festive cheer. Join the fun, Christmas is here. It's Christmas every day.